So Nelson is my hometown. It's located at the top of the South Island in New Zealand. It's very relaxed. It's by the beach, most sunshine hours sort of thing, and it's very relaxed. I grew up playing literally every sport under the sun. You know, I started off playing rugby. I did athletics pretty competitively, same with basketball, cricket, volleyball, touch, anything I could get my hands on. I was involved in. Took up a lot of time, but I wouldn't change it for anything. It was an amazing childhood and something I look back on with fond memories. My old man would have been, you know, he was always told just let him do what he wants to do, but I just kept migrating back to rugby. I was a little bit bigger than the other kids, always made it a bit easier growing up, but my father would have been the one who kind of probably not pushed me into it, but you know, would always make sure that I was involved, whether it was at club level and then going through the school system in New Zealand. Yeah, so I finished school in 2010 and moved into like the academy for Tasman. Not getting paid quite as much as what the academy gets paid these days, but you know, it was awesome. It was semi-professional and it was an awesome pathway. I think Tasman probably had good bones, good building blocks that really put me on the right path. From that, you know, I was in the academy for a year, and then I was 19. I made my debut for Tasman. That was awesome, and then I think, you know, 2 or 3 years after that, I ended up at the Chiefs in Hamilton. But Tasman's my home. I still support them through and through, and if it wasn't for them, I don't know if I would have made it this far. That's for sure. I was fortunate enough to play professionally in New Zealand for 5 years with the Chiefs, and I absolutely loved it. To be fully immersed in a rugby environment was something I'd always dreamed of, you know. And you know, an opportunity came to move over to Ireland and play rugby at Leinster. And you know, I was 24, 25 at the time, and it was a scary thought to be leaving home and the safety of family and friends and everything that I'd known. But I took the opportunity with open arms, and you know, I thought, oh, it might just be 3 years. That was my first contract, and you know, I could go back if I didn't like it, but landed on my feet at Leinster, and they, you know, gave me everything I needed in terms of support, and the coaches were amazing, management just making the transition as easy as possible, and you know, 3 years has turned into 6, and you know, signed on for another couple. I don't know if you'll be able to get rid of me anytime soon. My debut was behind closed doors during COVID against Wales, and I knew that my residency was starting to sort of come around that time where I was, you know, becoming available for Ireland, and I was actually at the driving range, and funnily enough, Sheeno was there, and you know, he was only just making a name for himself at Leinster, and I got this phone call and sort of shied away and took it and didn't say anything to him at the time. And you know, it was Faz asking if I could come along, and came in, you know, pretty raw still, and you know, got the opportunity to play against Wales in those test matches, and you know, it was it was surreal, you know, like you always wanted to sort of play professional rugby and then get the opportunity on the international stage, and we played well that day, and we managed to knock over Wales at home. I know it was behind closed doors, but my family in New Zealand, friends all around the world were all watching, and they were absolutely ecstatic. I think I've probably come a long way since then. You know, I've 20 odd test matches, and you know, I think I've still got a fair bit to prove.